Hi, this is Ridea Keeping It Real, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are reading through the Bible using the Good News Bible, and we are up to the book of Judith, which is in the Apocrypha, and we're up to chapter 8 of Judith. This has been fascinating. We're at the point where the Israelites are at war with King Nebuchadnezzar's army, and King Nebuchadnezzar's army has cut off their water supply. And so the Israelites are thirsty. That's this picture. They're thirsty. They're hungry. They're almost dying. And so they go to their leader, Uzziah, and say, just give up, man. We would rather just go back to being slaves than to die here. So just give up. And Uzziah says, wait. Let's give the Most High 5 more days. Let's just see what God's going to do for us. If not, then I'll give up. So here we are. We're on chapter 8. And we're probably going to try to get through at least chapter 10. Yeah. Here we go. Judith is going to be introduced here. Judith comes on the scene. So everything is dire. And Judith, an Israelite widow, comes to the scene. That's a picture of, I guess, what they say Judith looks like. Beautiful and attractive woman. Okay, so Judith, the Israelite widow. So at that time, Judith heard about Uzziah's decision. She was the daughter of Miriara, the granddaughter of Ox, the great-granddaughter of Joseph. Joseph's ancestors were, there's a whole bunch of names here. But you know what? All of these names, and this is like the lineage, right? The lineage. Her lineage. It reaches all the way back to Jacob. And so even though I'm not going to pronounce these names because I'm all, it's like not. But think about your lineage and your ancestors. It's all important. We're all going to reach all the way back if we went back, right? So she had a strong ancestry. So Judith's husband, Manasseh, who belonged to the same tribe and clan, had died during the barley harvest. He had suffered a sunstroke while in the fields supervising the farm workers and later died in bed at home in Bethulah. He was buried in the family's tomb in the field between Dathan and Balamon. And I think all these things are important because you probably can trace it back in history to say this stuff happened. So for 3 years and 4 months, Judith has lived as a widow. In her grief, she built a little shelter on the roof of her house and lived there wearing sackcloth. She fasted during that entire period except when fasting was forbidden. So she was deep in the faith. She fasted, except when fasting was forbidden, the day before the Sabbath and the Sabbath itself, the eve of the new moon festival and the festival itself, and all the festivals and holidays observed by the people in Israel. This is important. It's important. She fasted during the entire period except when fasting was forbidden, the day before the Sabbath itself, the eve of the new moon festival and the festival itself, and all the festivals and holidays observed by the people of Israel. Which again, we need to know when those festivals are. I have a calendar that I keep. It's a mess because everybody has a different date for all these festivals. So trying to get it down for what does the word say. So this is interesting. Judith was a beautiful woman. Her husband had left her gold and silver, servants and slaves, livestock and fields. So she was also rich. She continued to supervise the estate, and no one ever said anything bad about Judith. She was a very religious woman. Religious? I wonder if that word really says religious in the Sefer. Judith. Judith 8:8. Judith 8:8. Judith. Oh, it's Esther. Let me go back here. Judith. Bear with me 1 minute. Judith. 1043. Judith 8:8. What does that say? Judith 8:8. And there were none that gave her an ill word, and she feared Elohim greatly. Yeah, she feared Elohim greatly. So there was none that gave her an ill word. Sorry, here. And she feared Elohim greatly. Not that she was religious. A bunch of religious people up in the church that have no clue. If I said Judith, the book of Judith, they would have no clue what I'm talking about. I like this bookmark a lot. She feared Elohim greatly. So sometimes I have to refer back to the original text. This book is great to read to understand it, but, you know. Okay. So she's like rich, sad, her husband died, but understands the power of the Most High. This is Judith. So Judith meets with the town officials. So Judith heard about how the people were complaining bitterly against Uzziah now that the water shortage had broken their morale. She learned that in answer to their complaints, he had promised to surrender the town to the Assyrians after 5 days. Judith sent a slave, the woman who managed her business affairs, to invite Uzziah, Cabarrus, and Charmis, the town officials, to her home. When the officials arrived, Judith said to them, "Please listen to me. You are the leaders of the people of Bethula, but you were wrong to speak to the people as you did today. You should not have made a solemn promise before God that you would surrender the town to our enemies if the Most High did not come to our aid within a few days. What right do you have to put the Most High to the test as you have done today? Who are you to put yourself in God's place in dealing with human affairs? It is the Most High that you are putting to the test. Will you never learn? There is no way that you can understand what is in the depths of the human heart or to find out what a person is thinking. Yet you dare to read the Most High's mind and interpret his thoughts? How can you claim to understand God, the Creator? No, my friends, you must stop arousing the anger of the Most High. If he decides not to come to our aid within 5 days, he still may rescue us at any time he chooses, or he may let our enemies destroy us. But you must not lay down conditions to the Lord our God. Do you think that he is like one of us? Do you think you can bargain with him or force him to make a decision? No. Instead, we should ask the Most High for his help and wait patiently for him to rescue us. Go, Judith. If he wants to, he will answer our cry for help. We do not worship gods made with human hands. Not one of our clans, tribes, towns, or cities has ever done that, even though our ancestors used to do so. We do not worship gods made with human hands, okay? Not one of our clans, tribes, or towns, or cities has ever done that, even though our ancestors used to do so. That is why God let their enemies kill them and take everything they had. It was a great defeat. But since we worship no other God but the Most High, we can hope that He will not reject us or any of our people. If our town is taken by the enemy, the entire region of Judah will then fall, and our temple in Jerusalem will be looted, and the Most High will make us pay with our lives for allowing the temple to be defiled. He will hold us responsible for the slaughter and captivity of our people and for the destruction of the land we have inherited. We will be despised and mocked by the people in those nations to which we will be taken slaves. We are not going to win the favor of our enemies by surrendering to them now. If we do surrender, the Most High will see that we are put to shame. No, my friends, we should set an example for our fellow countrymen. Not only their lives, but the faith of the temple and the altar depend on us. The Lord, our God, the Most High, is putting us to the test, just as He tested our ancestors. And we should be thankful for that. Remember how He put Abraham and Isaac to the test? And what happened to Jacob while he was working as a shepherd for his uncle Laban in Mesopotamia? The Most High is not testing our loyalty as severely as He tested theirs. God is not sending His punishment on us as revenge, but as a warning to us. Warning to us who worship Him. Then Uzziah answered Judith, "Everything you say makes good sense, and no one can argue with it. This is not the first time you have shown wisdom. Ever since you were a child, all of us have recognized the soundness and maturity of your judgment. But our people are dying of thirst. They forced us to say what we did and to make a solemn promise, which we cannot break. So now, since you are a deeply religious woman, I'm sure it doesn't say religious, a woman who, what did it say? Honored the or obeyed or worship Elohim. Pray for our people. Ask the Most High to send rain to fill our cisterns so that we can get our strength back." "All right," Judith answered. "I am going to do something." Whoa. I'm going to do something which doesn't say Jewish. I know it doesn't say Jewish. Oh, let me put my little marker back here. Hold on. What does the Sefer say? 4:3. Where's that at? Or Jewish. 32. 8:32. 8:32. 8:32. Then said Yahudith. That's her name is in the original text, not Judith. Let's see. Unto them, hear me as I do. Hear me, and I will do a thing which shall go throughout all generations to the children of our nation. Right, okay. To the children of our nation. I'm going to do something which will go throughout all the nations. And this is why we should be reading these books. It's for us. That our people will never forget. Tonight, the three of you must stand guard at the gate so that my slave woman and I can leave the town. And before the day comes on which you have promised to surrender, the Most High will use me to rescue the people of Israel. But you must not ask me what I'm going to do. I will explain it to you when it's all over. Go Go, Judith. I like Judith. Because I could see her being soft-spoken but powerful. Uzziah and the other officials said to her, "You have our blessing. May the Most High guide you as you take revenge on our enemies." Then they left Judith's rooftop shelter and returned to their posts. Judith's prayer. So before Judith does anything, she prays. Then Judith put ashes on her head, opened her robe to reveal the sackcloth she was wearing under her clothes, and bowed down with her face to the floor. It was the time that the evening incense was being offered in the temple in Jerusalem, and Judith prayed in a loud voice, "O Most High, the God of my ancestor Simeon, remember how you armed Simeon with the sword and to revenge on those foreigners who seized Dinah and defiled her. They stripped her naked and shamed her. They raped her and disgraced her, even though you had forbidden this." This is G. Probable text closed. Greek unclear. Okay. Let me start over. "O Most High, of my ancestor Simeon, remember how you armed Simeon with a sword to take revenge on those foreigners who seized Dinah, who was a virgin, tore off her clothes and defiled her. They stripped her naked and shamed her. They raped her and disgraced her, even though you had forbidden this. This is why you let their leaders be killed, but to death, on the same bed where they had raped the girl. You destroyed them all, slaves, princes, and rulers on their thrones. You let their wives be carried off, their daughters taken captive, and their daughters taken captive, and their possessions plundered by the Israelites, your chosen people, who were eager to do your will. Dinah's brothers were furious because of this disgrace of their family, so they called on you for help. Oh, Most High, listen to my prayer, the prayer of a widow. Your hand guided all that happened then and all that happened before and after. You have planned it all, what is happening now and what is yet to be. Your plans have always been carried out. Whatever you want to be done is as good as done. You know in advance all that you will do and what decisions you will make. Now the Assyrians are stronger than ever. They take pride in their cavalry and their infantry. They rely on their weapons, but they do not know that you, Most High, are a warrior who ends war. The Most High is your name. In your anger, your power to shatter their mighty army. In your anger, use your power to shatter their mighty army. They plan to defile your temple, where you worshipped, and to hack off the corners of your altar with their swords. Look how proud and boastful they are. Pour out your fury upon them. I am only a widow, but give me the strength to carry out my plan. Use my deceitful words to strike them all dead, master and slave alike. Let a woman's strength break their pride. Your power does not depend on size, strength of an army. You are the Most High who cares for the humble and helps the oppressed. You give support and protection to people who are weak and helpless. You save those who have lost hope. Now hear my prayer, O Most High of my ancestor Simeon, the God in whom Israel trusts, ruler of heaven and earth, creator of the river and the seas, king of all creation. Hear my prayer and let my deceitful words wound and kill those who have planned such cruelty against your covenant and your holy temple, against Mount Zion and the land you have given your people. Make your whole nation and every tribe recognize that you are the Most High, Almighty, all-powerful, and that you alone protect the people of Israel. Oh, that's powerful, powerful prayer that can be used today. Judith chapter 9. was a powerful prayer. Judith chapter 10. Judith goes to the camp of Holofernes. When Judith had finished her prayer to the Most High of Israel, she stood up, called her slave woman, and went down into the house as she always did on Sabbath and festival days. She took off the sackcloth and her widow's clothes. She took a bath and put on her rich perfumes. She brushed her hair, tied a ribbon around it, and dressed herself in the fine clothes she used to wear on joyous occasions when her husband Manasseh was still alive. She put on sandals and all her finest jewelry, rings and earrings and bracelets on her wrists and ankles. She made herself so beautiful that she was sure to attract the attention of any man who saw her. Judith gave her slave girl a leather bag of wine and a jar of oil to carry. She filled a bag with roasted barley, cakes, and dried figs, and several loaves of bread baked according to the Israelite food laws. She carefully wrapped all the food in dishes and gave them to her slave. Then the two women left the house and went to the gates of Bethulah, where they found Uzziah and the town officials, Cabris and Charmis. It's a picture of her, I guess, going there. Oh, this is a picture of her going. Let's see where she's going. When the men saw Judith, after she had changed clothes and put on her makeup, they were struck by her beauty and said to her, May the Most High of our fathers bless you and make your plan successful, so that you may bring glory to Jerusalem and victory to Israel. Judith prayed and then said, Have the men open the gates for me. I am on my way to do what we were talking about. Then they ordered the young men to open the gates for her, and Judith and her slave left the city. The men watched her as she went down the mountain into the valley until she was out of sight. This makes me want to cry for some reason. As the two women were walking through the valley, an Assyrian patrol met them. They arrested Judith and questioned her. What is your nationality? Where did you come from? And where are you going? I am Hebrew, she answered, but I am running away from the Israelites because God is going to let you destroy them. I am on my way to see Holofernes, the general in command of your army, to give him some reliable information. I can show him how to advance into the mountains and take control of the entire region without a single casualty. The men stared at her because she was so beautiful. This is that part. They listened to her story and said, You have saved your life by coming down here to see our general. Some of our men will take you to his headquarters and present you to him. Do not be afraid of him. Just tell him what you have told us, and he will treat you well. They assigned 100 men to escort Judith and her slave to the headquarters of Holofernes. There was great commotion in the Assyrian camp as news of Judith's arrival spread from tent to tent. While she stood outside the tent of Holofernes waiting for to be presented to him, many Assyrian soldiers came and stood around her. They were greatly impressed by her beauty and wondered what kind of people the Israelites were. Who could have contempt for people whose women were so beautiful? They asked one another. We had better kill all the men, or else these Jews will be able to charm the whole world. So that's where she's standing there waiting for Ahasuerus, or not Ahasuerus, waiting for Holofernes. Okay. Verse 20. Then Holofernes' bodyguard and his personal servants came out and led Judith into the tent. Holofernes was resting on his bed under a mosquito net woven of purple and gold thread and decorated with emeralds and precious stones. So he's chilling. When the men told him that Judith had arrived, he came to the outer part of the tent. Silver lamps were carried ahead of him. When Judith came near him and his servants, they were all astonished at her beauty. She bowed down to the ground before Holofernes, but his servants helped her to her feet. Whew. Okay. Go, Judith. Go, Judith. Go, Judith. So, wow. I can see why they wouldn't want this book in the Bible, where, the Bible is heavily, male centric, but this is where a woman is taking charge and, oh, wow. Go, Judith. It's like, she's got it by her prayers. Is that the Star of David? That's interesting that's there like that, because there's a lot of, yeah, interesting. Like, it's like they've taken our stars and jewelry and made it bad. You can take anything good and make it bad. Oh, wow. This is a powerful story right here. The thing is, she was ready for this. She had been in prayer and fasting for 3 years, except when she couldn't on festivals. Judith used her beauty to save her people. Actually, yeah, maybe that is. This is definitely purple right here. Oops. Royalty. But you can see, just based on what we're reading, this is chapter 9 for prayer. That is something we can say today. And I think that's important, because it's hard to know how to pray, especially if you've been in the church for any period of time. That madness. But in the Word, you can use the way they prayed to make powerful things happen. Powerful things happen. This is so-called Judith. I'm going to finish coloring this. And until next time, this is Ridea keeping it real.